like that. Oh shit! Hold on. Damn, I'm already forgetting how to do this, bro. Let's see.
What the fuck?
Get string key. Yeah, and I messaged that guy from Nerd yesterday. I was like, fucker, better bring me some shit, dog. Cause now I'll start buying Monster. Fuck that. But yeah, bro, you got PFL this fucking week. You got the Bellator. We have Cage Fighting Fury Championship. We've got RS Fighting Championship in Paris, France. There's a lot of shit going on this week, man. And then the UFC, bro. No, but I don't even know what's going on, man. Spelled it, no, but yeah, man, I brought in that one kid. He was, man. Did you watch it? Did you watch the video?
Which one? With Gage? No, I haven't seen that.
Dude, like, I asked Mom. I was like, man, did you like prep him for this? And she was like, no. And I was like, man, he was like really.
He was on it.
Yeah, like he was answering better than I would. I'd be like, I like jitsu. What do you like about it? Yes. Like, fuck out of here, kid. But he was pretty.
But like a little 10-minute interview.
Yeah, man. He did great, man. I was like, yo, I thought he was gonna be like freaking out and.
Well, I have him on Facebook. So when I added him on Facebook, or he added me on Facebook or whatever, like I thought he was older. Like I thought it was like I think when he had it, he didn't have like a picture of him. He had something else on his. Like I think he just said HOJ, and then and then I guess I thought his mom was posting or something, but then it was just like, oh shit, like
it might be on, by the way.
Okay.
But yeah, man.
But then I was just like, oh shit, oh yeah, it's the kid. So, but yeah, no, he's always working out though, man. They were showing that even like what was it during this past week with Fiesta, like, you know, started going out, like they were upstairs and, you know, doing the ropes or doing the bag and stuff like that. So that's pretty neat. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, definitely wants to do it. So,
yeah.
So I kept asking him. I was like, hey, is it you? You want to do it? And he's like, yeah.
Yeah, and which is a hard thing. I mean, to kind of find in a kid to have that drive so early on, you know. So I mean, props to their parents on that.
And we got our first caller. Hello, welcome to the Fight Card Podcast, coming to you from San Antonio, Texas. We're in the studio and being joined by Aaron Smish Suarez. My man, how are you, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm here. I'm hanging on.
Yeah, me and you both, man. I know we were talking about it. I think it was Monday. We were already saying it's a long week, right?
Oh, dude. Yeah,
it's one of those things, man. You had worked over the weekend, right?
Let me see. What's today? Friday?
I think so.
Last weekend a little bit, man. And so this whole past week it was nothing but overnight, and had some had a class yesterday. So yeah, kind of all over the place, man. Just you know. Regular life.
Yeah, it's just work thing, what gets in the way, man. I might call your boss after this.
Yeah, please, man, please.
Be like, you know what, buddy? We set him up for once a week.
Once a week, just kind of, and not even like in person, just kind of, just a check-in. Just
just text everybody.
Yeah, hey guys, we doing good? All right.
It's work. That's it. Whatever you're doing, keep going.
Let's keep it up.
No kidding, man. But yeah, bro, we were talking just a few minutes ago, man, and I mean, there's so much going on. I mean, I know the UFC's back at it again this weekend. You know, B2 Fighting Series, of course, freaking all, you know, steamrolling, man. They're all over the place. They're on tour, you know. So I keep telling our boy Warren Stewart and Van Bo, man, they're on tour with the band, bro.
Yeah.
They're traveling.
Dude, yeah, and then I know he had posted maybe something about starting his own little, you know, web series or whatever. So yeah, that'd be great, man. That'd be great.
No, I mean, and that's one thing I was telling Warren. I said, dude, he's been documenting, but I said, man, I would invest on something and just do a little, like you said, a mini series, a vlog, you know, video vlog, just to kind of like chime in. And I mean, why not, man? They're already out there, you know. Might as well get some. I mean, he's been getting a lot of good footage, bro. I mean, he's one of the things that I like about the guy. I mean, not just that he talks to us. He's not. He didn't get too famous on us, but it's that the fact that he takes a lot of the fighters into consideration, man. Like he's always taking photos, and he's always like, man. I mean, and it's good because I mean, as a fighter, of course, it's like I mean, we talked about it before. I mean, you would go to fight for a promoter, and the end of the thing, they're like, man, who's this guy? Like you just fought for the guy, and they don't even know, they don't care. But the fact that he's there, and of course the promotion too, doing their thing, supporting these fighters, man, because. It's one thing to set up a platform, but I mean to actually invest and they share the fighters' info, their fighters' pages. They constantly they're promoting them as well, so it's a win-win.
Dude, well, I saw the rankings that you had posted up with those.
Yes, bro, and I just saw those yesterday, but yeah.
Yeah, so were those pro and amateur, or was it?
It was just amateur.
And see, like that's something that I would have liked to have seen, kind of back in the day, kind of see where all that. I mean, I know it wasn't organized, but
No, yeah, well, you see, and that's kind of the thing too, because I noticed. They had posted Forrest Griffin is doing like the whole MMA, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but he's doing the same thing to kind of categorize like all the amateur fighters. And I gotta ask you, man, because I mean, a lot of these amateur fighters, it's like 5 fights tops. Some fight maybe 10 times, maybe 15, but is something like that? Something that the amateur fighters need right now? Is it like enough to where, because a lot of them fight one time, then they don't come back, you know what I mean? Like,
man, I mean, yeah, I'd like to see more of a prerequisite, man, before going pro. Maybe, hitting, 5 fights at least or 10 fights at least, and kind of just seeing what it is before they get the pro license or whatever. But, I mean, I think, I mean, the guys like, I don't know, because, like, I mean, I think even Schindler, I mean, he had, like, 1 fight. As an amateur.
Exactly, bro.
You know what I'm saying? And so it wasn't like an indicator of like whether he was going to be good or not. He just, you know what I'm saying? So.
Well, I mean, you never, even in the pro circuit, you never know. I mean, there's guys that were won undefeated 5 times and then they just stop. Life happened.
Yeah.
They got to change jobs, they change, whatever the case may be. But it's just, I mean, and it's a good thing, man. I'm not, dumping on it. I mean, I'm glad that they're investing in the amateur circuit. It's just, I just don't know if there's enough in a roster for them to say, okay, you know what? I guess not unless they feed them towards their promotion, then maybe, right?
Maybe, but like I said, I mean, when we talked about, how gyms are kind of just popping up all over the place too now. So it's like, so I mean, there has to be a big pool of amateur fighters that are coming through. I mean, hell, just think about how many guys we have in here, you know what I'm saying, as far as like the HOJ. I mean, you got about, I think what was it, Jacob said, about 10 guys in camp already. So,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just one gym. So you imagine we have maybe about 15 gyms around here. So
yeah, I mean, people, students actually competing.
Yeah, so that's at least 150 amateurs possibly that we're getting in.
So in other words, just say it, man. God, man, come on, man. No, but yeah,
I like it, man.
No, I mean it's good. I like it. I just wanted to ask you. I figured you'd have something negative, but I guess
I'm not negative today, man. I mean, typically I am, but. It's just like,
You're like, not today. I'll wait for work.
Yeah.
I get to work, man. But yeah.
I'm still waking up. That's probably what it is, man.
Yeah, I caught you off guard.
Yeah.
No, but bro, I mean, so that's happening, and it's good for the sport, regardless. I mean, they have a platform. Years back, I had actually, I was invited to cover Uriah Faber. He was at the MMA Overload in New Braunfels. And I'm talking to the guy in the back, and we're just, talking about, and I tell him, I said, man, you know what, I mean, there's a lot of, even back then, I said, there's a lot of amateur fighters here, and because he had asked me, like, man, how's the amateur? And I said, man, that's pretty good. And he was like, oh, man, well, I got a buddy of mine, and he was going to do just exactly this. He's doing his own ranking, and he's going to start pushing the amateur circuit. He said, I'll tell him to touch base with you, that way he can get and I was like, cool, man. Like, it never happened, but it's already, people have been thinking about it, obviously, for a few years, and, like you said, when you were fighting in the amateur circuit, I mean, maybe even then, people would have known that you had 2 titles, bro. I mean, so yeah.
Maybe, so I don't have to tell everybody every time I introduce myself.
By the way, 2 titles.
I'll say, hey guys, how you doing?
I know, right?
I don't know if you know this, right? But I had.
You know, show them, and you don't have to carry them around, bro.
Yeah, and they're like, sir, I just want you to pay for the drink.
I know, right?
You can get out.
Where's your tab? You're like, I got 2 titles, bro. But yeah, but you know what? But it's good. I mean, so yeah, okay. So that being said, it is good for the sport, of course.
I think so, man. I think so. And then, and just real quick, man, when you met Uriah, so how tall was he, man?
Shit, I was probably 2 inches taller myself back then. So I mean, he was like maybe like above like nose. Like he was short.
Did you kind of rub the top of his head a little bit? Hey.
No, man, he wouldn't let me, bro. I had to like talk to him from across the screen. Like he was like, "Get away from me, peasant."
Yeah, he was just like.
No, man. The fact that he was that California kid and he was from California, he was laid back, bro. Like he was really cool. He was just like chilling and just even when I interviewed him, man, it was just simple. It was just like, hey, man, it felt great. You know, it was one of those with the fans. I mean, he was just like his whole persona was great, man, and he's a great guy. Like he was laid back with everybody. He's just like, hey, man, how's it going? And taking pictures, and he's actually talking to people. So that was pretty awesome. But yeah, man. But I mean, he won't return my call. So yeah, man, I don't want to keep talking about him. Man.
keep faxing him.
Yeah, he got too big for me. I was like, damn. But yeah, so that I mean, it's been in the process. It's been talked about for a while already. So the fact that it's happening now, better late than never. So of course, I think they have posted Eric Garcia is going to be doing like the Central States, like he's going to be in charge of the amateur rankings here, and it's interesting to see how that's going to work, man, because there's a lot of amateur fighters, bro. So we'll see. Of course, by record they're going to go by, but I guess I mean, all these like topology.com. I mean, they're pretty set with keeping their rankings pretty good. So I'm sure they'll use them among others to their own rosters too, of course.
Yeah.
But we'll see where that goes, man. Of course, I mean, this is just it was posted yesterday, so Forrest Griffin's heading the whole promotion. I guess he's like the head of, but and one of the things. Okay, let me bring this up because one of the things that Forrest Griffin had brought up was the fact that the UFC was behind it, and I don't know if you remember, like a while back, well, a few years back, Dana White was saying that he wasn't a big fan of amateur fights.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought I heard something like that, but I couldn't.
It was probably me saying I'm probably just making it up.
That's good. I mean, that's how we do it.
Was that on the first episode? Yeah, I think I heard it.
Yeah.
No, but but he did say that at one time, and I mean he said the same thing with women in MMA, of course, and he was wrong. So obviously, he maybe reconsidered, and now he's like, what? Let's get these guys ready to where they're ready. Because even I will say this, even with the I believe it was the PFL. They're doing the same thing with their amateur fighters. They're kind of prepping them up, and a lot of them are making their pro debut. But just like I mean, we've talked about it. Jimmy Flick, man, we've talked about it, and it's always like, these amateurs have like 10, 15 fights against good people. It's not just they're not just fighting 0-0, and they're fighting people pretty much the same records, man. And so of course, by the time they go pro, it's like, okay, well, they're bringing some pretty good experience into the cage.
I mean, even going back to Fury, man, like Dylan, I mean, like he, like what I'm saying, like he had a really good fight, and it was all 3 rounds. I mean, I know he had lost his first one, and then I think now he's 2-1, but. The last fight before that, I mean, he knocked the dude out right before the end of the first round, and this last time, him and his partner, I mean, and his opponent, they went all 3 rounds, and it was a really good back and forth, man. I mean, it was technical, it wasn't sloppy, it was like...
Oh, yeah, they went in with... Like, you would think it was a pro fight.
Dude,
they
like,
went in pretty smooth, man.
And then the fact that, Dylan's like, 18 or something like that, 19, so it was like, dude, like, he has another... at least 15 years, You
see, and let me ask you, because right now, of course, I mean, it's between him and his coach and his, for them to decide, okay, you know what, you're ready to go pro. Mm-hmm. With somebody at that level, like, your own perspective, would you say, okay, you know what, let's get 2 more fights in and see where you're at, or are you still kind of...
I think for, personally, I think for Dylan, I mean, I think in that aspect, let's try to get him a shot at a title. I mean, because he's already showing that he's a good fighter, that he's already well-rounded. So why not get him a title in the next couple of fights or whatever, and see if we can get that going, just so that way he can kind of carry something into the pro rankings, just besides skill set. It's like, hey, I got the skill set, but then I also won, this title, and regardless of whether he wins it or not, I mean, preferably I know he'd like to win it, but. If he's fighting the title holder, well then he's also, what I'm saying, like it's going to be another good fight as well. So he's also going to be gaining that much more experience. So I think, man, next couple of fights, get him a title fight. If not the next fight, and kind of go from there and really start pushing to head on to the pros, because he's already training like a pro, man. He was already like he had fought that Sunday, and then like that Monday he was already training again. So I mean, the kid.
You see, and he's young, so he's got that he can recover that quick. For me, I could put in on my shoes. I need like 2 days out, bro. I'm like, let me take a break.
you switched over to Velcro?
Yeah, man, I did, but I don't know where I left them. Once I find them, I'll go back to them, man. It's just. You know, and I have dogs at home, bro, so every morning it's like clockwork. I get up and it takes me like 10, 15 minutes to find my freaking flip-flops, right? I'm like, where the hell damn dogs, dude? But yeah, man, but you know what? I mean, they're young. They're actually able to turn around and recover. And the same thing here, man. I mean, just yesterday, you know, I had Ricardo, of course, here in the studio. Another you know, young guy from here, the HOJ, man. And of course, we're inside the facility, but, you know, I was able to bring the guy in. He had done some smokers. He did his first, you know, amateur bout. And I mean, it was good talking to him because it was his first time around. And you know, we talked about his nerves, we talked about his training and like how he felt, his weight cut, because he was like, man, it was horrible. People would talk about it, but me going through it, I was like, damn, like, you know, he realized, okay, it's real, you know.
It really
and,
does suck, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So he was, and one of the things I had asked him, I said, man, well, how much did you blow up the day of? And he said, man, I'm like 20 pounds, bro. So I was like, damn. I mean, so, you know, but I don't know how, because I think he had said he had cut 10 pounds. So maybe he got an extra 10. I don't know, man. You know what I mean? So I guess it was that meal after weigh-ins that kind of.
Like I said, you never know, man. I mean, I think, shoot, I blew up about 15 after one fight, and it's just like you got that little Ethiopian belly.
Yeah. Like, you see, but I mean, he went through it. He was able to experience that firsthand, and you know, that's one of the things. I mean, as a fighter yourself, man. I mean, you know. You know, I've never experienced that. You know, I've left my wallet at home where I didn't eat all day, and that sucked. But, you know, but you guys actually are, like, having to train, having to cut weight, you know, on top of life. You know, you guys are working. So, I mean, yeah, talk about mental toughness, right?
Dude, yeah, that is a crappy week, or depending on how far out you're starting or whatever. Yeah. I know, like, was it the 2 or 3 days before the actual, like, weigh-in? Like, that was kind of my hell days, if you will. I mean, it's like a scoop of peanut butter, you know, maybe a grapefruit, and then head to go training, and then a whole bunch of water, and you know, it's not fun. You know what I'm saying? Everything, you're just real irritable. You're just kind of like, man, don't talk to me. And then you're getting beat up.
Yeah, and on top of that, you're like, man, now you gotta go get beat up, you know.
You know, so excuse me. So it's never fun.
But let me ask you this, though, man. I mean, through all the weight cuts that you did, that you went through, which one was your worst?
Probably that. No, shoot, man. Probably when I fought Donnie, that one sucked.
The one here at Sunset Station?
Yeah, probably that one. Just because I had just came back to the gym, and there's like, hey, in about a month, man, can you get down to 55, and then you're gonna fight in the main event. And I was just like, yeah, I mean, I guess I have to, you know.
You're like,
so
where am I?
You know, it was just, you know, nothing but plastics, you know, like 2 weeks before, right after training. So go train for a couple of hours, and then after that, I'm staying behind, and I have my plastics on, and I'm hitting the bag, and I'm sprawling, and just trying to drip as much sweat out. And what made it worse even more was the fact that I was doing landscaping at the time.
Oh, damn.
So yeah, so I was doing landscaping, and then after that, go train, and then it was, you know, landscaping again in the morning. We're starting like at 5 o'clock in the morning, so yeah, that sucked.
To say the least, right? Man, well, let me say this, okay? Weight cuts, of course, I mean, consist of a few things, man. I mean, of course, your calorie intake. I mean, now, did you guys know back then, okay, you know what, poke chicken has this much? I mean, was there a count base back then when you guys were doing it?
I'm sure somebody was doing it. It just wasn't us. You know what I mean? So, like I remember a couple of times, man. Old teammate Steven Flores, man. He was like, all right, man. We were cutting weight, and he would have like an apple or an orange, and he's like on the scale, and he's just like, well, I guess I can't eat that. You know, kind of like, you know what I'm saying? So, it was just things like that. I mean, we understood, hey, just don't eat as much, but. Like for me, I was 20, so I don't know what the hell.
You're like, man, where's my taco at?
Yeah, I'm just like, okay, well, I'll just eat half the taco and I'll be fine. But it was just like, nah, man.
You see, and now we know a lot of fruits have a lot of sugar, man. So now you're like, okay, you can't really eat an apple because the way the body reacts, it's like it's gonna hold a little bit more weight, you know. So those are the things we didn't know back then. We were just like, well, this weighs more than this. I'll eat this. You know, it's just, you know, we went about it the wrong way.
Dude, I just found out, dude, avocados have, you know, so much more potassium than bananas.
Son of a, I gotta stop eating bananas.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they're like, hey, you know, how do you, prevent, like, you know, for cramps or whatever. Yeah. And so I'm just like, dude, I said, like, really? They're just like, yeah, it's just the reason why, or typically they said the reason why is because, like, if a kid has cramps or whatever, what is he more likely going to eat? Is he going to eat the avocado or is he going to eat a banana? And it's just like, okay, well, just have the banana because it tastes a little better.
You can. I don't really. You eat avocado by itself?
I mean, not by itself.
Put it on something, but
yeah, I mean, with a chip or something. But I think the chip would be counterproductive. So I don't know.
You're like, damn. Yeah, but that's. I mean, I didn't even know that. So yeah, that's.
Yeah, no, I just found that yesterday. So I'm over there. I'm just spreading the truth.
The more you know.
Yeah, dude.
That one's free, by the way. The next tip, gotta subscribe to. Only yams.
Only.
And that's another one too, man. Good in carbs. Yams. Yeah. That's another one that I learned throughout the years. Of course, for energy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, of course, back then, I mean, like you said, somebody was doing it. It just wasn't. People in the sport, I guess. I don't know. That's weird, man. But,
it's just like somebody. Hey, Aaron, you should be doing. That. I was like, shut up, you nerd. Like, I'm gonna hit you.
Get out of here.
And now I'm over there. Hey, man, can you tell me what again? It's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, what's my password again? I don't know how to work MySpace.
I need some tech support.
There you go. But yeah, bro. But I mean, there's a lot of things too now. One of the things, of course, once again, Ricardo, man, we were talking, and he's been doing. One of his buddies has like a, where they do the cryogenic, the cryotherapy, and I guess even back then, I mean, you guys were doing the whole ice bath, like old school, throwing ice in a bucket, or
shoot, man. I don't think I ever did. I know, I'm sure, I think like Palacios was probably doing it, Shane and these other guys were doing it, but nah, not me. They was like, hey, I was like, you want to get in the ice bath? I was like, nah.
You just walk by with a cup, get some ice there, I'm good.
I was like, nah, man, I'm good, man. Y'all guys can have that, because I didn't, again, I was just ignorant to the benefits. I was ignorant to everything else. I was like, you know what, let me just be sore for a couple of days.
All right.
I'll come in miserable, so that's probably what cut my career short too. So
I know. That's why after a while I was just like, man. But you know what? I mean, you think about it now, and if you would have been doing this back then, I mean, obviously you would have been a lot. You would have been recovering faster. You would have had better. So yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that now, I mean, these guys they come in with all this science on their side, a bunch of nerds. But yeah, man. But they have it to where now, okay, yeah, now I know. Hey, it's better to do this, eat this. There's a science to it because even the meal preps, these companies that we talk to, the people that I know up there in Dallas, Fort Worth, they Fit Meals Prep. They set up their meals according to the fighter. Like, okay, you know what, get more protein, get more, and. I would just be like, man, give me a slice of pizza, let's go.
Yeah, you want me to be healthy?
Put some avocado on it. Yeah. I'll eat it, potassium. But yeah, but it's just, I mean, they have it down to where now they have specific meals. Mm. So that's a good thing. I mean,
yeah, no, and going back into the day, it's like, if I had known that, I mean, honestly, I probably wouldn't have sat down and done the whole thing myself. I would have just been like, here, man, here's $50. What can you get me? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I would have had somebody just do that for me.
Grocery shopping, like
because at least my mentality at that time was just like, dude, I just want to fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't give a crap about nothing else. Just get me in the gym, let me hit somebody, and I'm gonna go home.
You see, and of course you say $50. Like, this is back in 2000, and now it's like $250. What can you give me with $50? They'll give you a receipt.
Hey, thanks for aging me. So
I'm right there with you, man.
And I had a nickel and I can call anybody. What I'm saying?
Oh yeah, man. Back then, you used to have to wind up the phone and wait for the other guy to answer and be like, man, what's going on? But yeah, man. I mean, so these guys, of course, men and women. Of course. I mean, just because we are here at the HOJ, I mean, there's a couple of guys getting ready for a fight. Mm-hmm. A few of them fought at the Fury Amateur Circuit in Houston, and experience. Of course. I mean, as an amateur, I mean, we've said it before. When you're in a fight, you don't want to lose. Period. Mm-hmm. But right now that they're in an amateur circuit, I mean, it's good for them to gain this experience.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you'll essentially see how they bounce back. Because losses and victories, like they affect people differently, and when you get that first loss, it's like, damn, dude, it's like, like that sucks, and then you got your teammates that you can kind of lean on and kind of relate to a little bit, if they've had losses before too, and kind of like, and then you see where that support system really is. I think that kind of even makes that little circle of yours a little bit smaller, because.
Right. You know who to rely on.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it helps out a little bit, but I mean, yeah, man, amateur fighters, I mean, if you get a loss, it sucks, but, keep on moving, man. Get back into the gym and keep going.
Oh yeah, dude. And plus, I mean, especially like for example here once again, you know, they have guys that are fighting again, you know, for another promotion. So of course they want to come back and help them out. You know, if there's no injuries, there's nothing sustained. Of course, come in and stretch out, man. I mean, there's no loss in trying. I mean, of course the record stands for what it is, but you know, I mean, for somebody to step inside the ring the way you guys did, I mean, the only time I stepped in there was when I had to clean up afterwards, you know. But I've never been in there to fight, so it's just, I mean, they already won up, you know. So, you know, I mean, that's a good thing, man, for everybody out there participating and stepping inside the cage, of course, man.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, I don't want to do it. I ain't gonna lie. I'm like, I'm good.
Dude, man, sometimes I'm like watching these guys, like, and especially now that we're kind of talking a little more and more about fighting, and we're seeing the guys kind of get ready, especially like with James, you know, getting back, he's getting ready to go back.
Yes, bro, and I was gonna bring him up too.
I was like, man, you know what, man? I was like, can I? And then I wake up late one time. I was like, nah, never mind. I'm good. You know, I cracked the eggs and put them in the cup like I was gonna drink it. I was like,
Rocky, you're like,
nah, I just put it in the pan.
I know. Get the pan.
Get the pan, dude, and
scrambled
we'll be
eggs.
good, man. Make some spam too, man. I had spam the other day, dude. Oh man, it was good.
Man, I posted something a while back, and I was like, damn, I've been craving it, man. So yeah, you know, no wake up for this guy.
Yeah, dude. Hey, afterwards, man, we'll go get some spam.
There you go, man. Might as well. I mean, hell, that's about the only thing I can afford right now too, dude. So
yeah,
we'll get what we can.
With that $50 I'm giving.
Man, well, you know what? Let's go. I mean, throughout the fight game, because of course, I mean, we know you went from competitor to stepping away for a while, coming back as a coach. Even when you were coaching, I mean, of course, on the Southside, you know, Southside Gym, of course, you had, I think you mentioned it before, Fatima that was doing the meals.
Yeah.
So having somebody like that for the fighters, I mean, it had to help, right?
Man, it was beneficial, man. You know, as long as they took it, right?
Right.
That was the whole deal. I mean, but talking to her, you know, just about all the different things. I mean, she has so much knowledge, and she goes into depth and detail, and honestly, I don't even know how she has time for a lot of those things, man. Between, you know, her job and her training, and you know, kids and prepping for everybody else. So, I mean, it's just great. I mean, I know now she's doing her meal preps for her son. Yeah, Amadeus, and man, like that dude, he was what, 16 years old, 17 years old, squatting like 415. You know, so like, I mean, he's a big kid, dude, and so it's like, you know, and then of course, you know, now he has a mom, like he has the benefit of having a mom who does the meal prepping and can kind of put all these things together. Hey, okay, baby, this is what you need, right? And this is like, dude, like that's crazy, man. So
me asking my mom, I'm hungry. She's like, get cereal.
Get cereal, yeah, dude. Hey, Mom, how do I bulk on cereal? We'll just eat more.
There you go. Keep going.
So I mean, but no, it was a big benefit, man, and especially even coming down to even when I got to compete a little bit, I was like, hey, like, what should I be eating? You know, oh well, here, do this, and this.
Like, here's $50.
Yeah. She's like, what is this gonna get me? And I was like, I don't know, just
pay for parking. Do something.
You know, so it was really a big benefit having her, you know, around and of course training wise and stuff like that. But man, that other side of the boat where I'm not smart at it, and a lot of guys in the gym weren't just real savvy. Like, we understood that that needs to happen, but we know where to start.
Like, so put it on the list. You see, but I mean, one of the things I always ask these fighters, and I've talked to Jonathan Patti, for example,
okay,
out of Copper's Cove, man, and I had asked him, I said, man, when you're getting eating right and getting ready for a fight, you're cutting like your meals are short, so it's the whole family cutting weight, and he's like, well, kind of, you know, because now everybody's kind of, you know, I mean, you said you were like, man, you don't care, you eat pizza in front of people, you're like, hey, you're cutting weight, not me, right, buddy?
Hey, I'm sorry, Papa.
Getting them that the mental toughness going.
Yeah, dude, I was like, hey, can I get another slice? Like, I know you're not gonna eat, I know you can't eat it.
There you go. Show with the whole pizza. Nope, nobody. All right,
cool, man. I guess it's all mine.
There you go, man. Shoot, bro. But yeah, man. I mean, so yeah, and it's one of those things. I mean, when you were competing, you didn't have kids yet. Towards the end.
I had one. No, shoot, hold on. Yeah, when I first started, I didn't have any kids.
Right.
And then probably 23, right? Then I had Caleb, my firstborn. So yeah, he was there a little bit. He was in the womb when I won, or when I defended my title against James.
Oh really?
Yeah. So I was just like, hey babe, no drinking tonight, but I'm gonna drink.
Right. I'm gonna drink for both of us. Don't worry about it.
I was like, don't worry, I got you.
Yeah,
so
we'll celebrate at home. You're like,
but yeah,
pulling that Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I had just started doing it like that, but
You see, but how did that work? Because obviously, I mean, she wasn't cutting weight, obviously, because she had to eat for baby,
She had
right?
to eat for baby, man.
So how did you? I mean, were you just kind of like, I just want to eat?
No, I just trained more. Again, you see what I'm saying? That's how ignorant I was. I was just like, oh, okay, well, I had a biscuit. All right, cool, I'll go run. I'll be back. And then come back and I have another one. It's like, damn, I got to run again.
You're like, man, go push my car a little bit, a couple feet.
But I mean like I said, that was just my whole mentality. It was just, okay, well, shoot, I'll just train a little bit longer, a little bit harder, and I'll go from there. And eventually I'll kind of catch up. But that can only last so long, as I'm noticing right now, right? So
no, man, you see, and one of the things, and not to cut short, man, but I want you to bring up Gage, the young man that I had here, bro.
Yeah.
Talking to the guy, and I was telling you earlier, I felt like, man, this guy's, just scripted. Come on, mom, because the kid's onto something, man. I mean, he's having fun with this, and it reminded me of, like, when I first started, I enjoyed it, man. I loved to roll. I loved to, getting out of submissions, getting submissions, and it was fun. I think, and I was talking to, Ricardo. He was here also that day or yesterday, but I was telling him, I think it was once I got my purple belt that I kind of like, I was more offensive. Like, I didn't pick my training partners, but it was like, oh man, I can't lose to that guy, or I don't want to get, you know what I mean? So I blocked myself, and I killed it for myself, because at that point I was just like, dude, I was more concerned on getting tapped than I was on learning.
On learning, yeah.
So, and it just made me realize that the other day, and I was thinking, man, you know what? I mean, even now, I'm like, dude, if I roll right now, I know I'm gonna get tapped just from from stretching, so I'm not even worried about that. But yeah, man, I mean, but you in training, because obviously you were gone for a while, you came back. I mean, how were you mentally going back into the gym? Where you're like, okay, let me knock somebody out, that way they know what's up, or what? President rules.
No, man. I mean, honestly, I didn't. I took it as a challenge to myself. I didn't. I always had the mentality, I mean, I don't want to get tapped, or I don't want to get tired first, or whatever. But I mean, at the same time, I kind of also knew my limitations. So, but I mean, I'd put myself right back in the fire with Schindler and Palacios and Shane, and so like I knew, like, even when I was training, I mean, they were hard to keep up with already. So I was like, well, okay, well, shoot, I'm gonna have to train with them anyway. So, like, let's get it on. But let it be known, though, yeah, if I had somebody that was, weaker, oh, dude, they were getting a beating.
Yeah.
I
take it out on this guy.
Yeah, so he's like, sir, why are you calling me Schindler? I was like, don't worry about it.
Right? Don't worry about it, buddy.
You know what I'm saying? But
you know what? Then again, you're comparing yourself to people like Schindler, who was like wrestling from birth. And Palacios, of course, with the athletic individual, man.
Dude,
so,
so,
of course.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, hey, how long you been here? 2 weeks. All right, well, come here.
Right. 2 weeks. You? What? Okay, yeah.
All right, come on. I'm gonna beat the crap out of you.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But
crossface, wrestling. But yeah, man. I mean,
but that was kind of mentality. I mean, just coming back. I mean, I was just trying to just see where I can fit in, right? I mean, I understood it at that point. I think I really kind of changed my mentality into like, hey, how do I be a better training partner? How do I, I'll put myself in a position, or try to kind of get myself back into these crappy positions.
Yeah.
And then if anybody had a fight, I'm like, all right, hey man, like, let's get it going. So like the knowledge of what I needed to do was there. It just, my body had to catch up again just because I had been out. So it wasn't a big deal, man.
No, you see, and that's one of the, I just asked because, yeah, I mean, it does change some people, and I don't know. I'm going to ask some of these people that have been away from the game for a while, man. I'm going to ask and find out and see, because I wonder if maybe because they've been away 2-3 years, maybe, they don't want to come back because they know it's going to be hard, man. And maybe that ego,
Man, I mean, I'm not sure how prevalent it would be right now. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of guys that, do have the ego, whatever. And of course, as you're doing it more and you're tapping people out and you're, getting the best of people. But yeah, I mean, to be gone and then to come back, it just depends on the person, man. Going back to the little kid, Gage, man, I think he's setting himself up, not so much to be as like a great, fighter in his later years. I think he's just setting himself up to be just a good person. I think he's going to understand
exactly, man. You see
the discipline of in his routine and just kind of his mentality. So I'm looking forward to see how he ends up, man. Just as a
person. I mean, because it's like you said, because even with him being that focus. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's like that's why I had asked him if he can see himself playing other sports, and he was like, well, maybe football, maybe basketball. And of course, he's 9, so I mean, I mean, he's still, the future still bright for him. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, he can use this training, not just physically, but dedication, of course, everything, and use it towards whatever comes his way, man. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to see where he goes with this, man.
No, definitely, man. And so the mom, she's done a great job of bringing them in. I mean, that's also the thing too. Is I've heard a lot where it's like, kids, it's not that they don't have discipline. It's usually the parents, because they have to bring them in every single day. And so, great job on mom and dad to make sure that he's in there.
Oh yeah, you see, and that's the thing. That's one of the things I had asked her, because I'm like, okay, you know what? It's hard because I wish, like, my oldest, played soccer, and I was able to go and go to her games, go to her practices, but I wasn't able to go all the time, right? And luckily mom was there, so it worked out because she would take her or I would take her, but it was just. That kind of commitment, it's like, for them to commit on something like that. When she first told me, I was like, damn, like, because I already knew that means I'm going to have to be there, you know what I mean? And not that it's a bad thing, but it was just like, okay, now I got to stop work at this time, and then now I got to, go here, and it was great. No, I'm not by no means downing it, because of course, you want to be there for the kids, but it's just, it's a commitment that the parents have to take too, man, so.
Oh, yeah.
So,
well, and then my oldest son, he texted me, he was like, Dad, I want to do jiu-jitsu again. And I was just like, all right. I was like, so, I mean, and we have a Brazilian top team in my neighborhood.
Oh, that's right.
That they just opened up. So right. I gotta hit up a couple of guys. I'm like, hey man, look, how much is it? I wanna probably try to get him in. So, but of course he wants to do the wrestling as well in high school. So, nice. He's got I'm sure he's gonna have a busy schedule here coming up pretty soon. So.
So, it's probably the last day we'll see you then, man, because you'll be out there.
We'll just take this over to the Brazilian top team.
We'll do
like a bi-weekly thing.
Mobile podcast, man.
We'll figure it out, dude. Hey, just hit me up on Zoom.
I'll put the table on top of the back of the truck, and we'll head out there, man. We'll cover it.
Yeah, man. No, we'll get it going, man.
But yeah, bro. But man, I mean, there's a Bellator fight coming up. Of course, it's tonight. I was able to interview a fighter on that card, man, and one of the things about it was that he himself was actually, he started back in the day with IXFA, which was here, with Chris Reed, who unfortunately passed away, but it's taken him I don't want to say this long for him to get somewhere, because the guy's been fighting all over the place. He's got some great wins, he's had some tough losses, but some great wins, and another opportunity, step back in Bellator. And, so it's stories like this and people that I'm interviewing that I'm like, you know what, man, a lot of people see like a fight and they're like, oh man, he's in the UFC, okay, yeah, but after how many years, man? Like a lot of these guys, 10 years before they even got the call. Jamal Amers was one of them. Ray Rodriguez, I think he was 8 years in the sport before he got the call.
Yeah.
Jimmy Flake, 10 years, you know what I mean? So it's taken a while, man. It's a lot of work. I mean, not everybody has that, I guess, I don't want to say that look or that technique, because it's kind of like if you're at the right place at the right time, then you get noticed a little bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, and that so like even going and real quick, kind of transitioning into the Ultimate Fighter. I mean, you look at a lot of those guys that got on the show.
Yeah.
They had a teammate who was in the UFC already. They already had,
or
they trained at a certain gym, and they're okay. Well, let's see who you got. You know what I'm saying? So it's like. I think for guys like Ray Rodriguez and the Jamal, well, I know he's in California now, but Jamal Amers, but and Flick, like a lot of guys that got into the UFC, I mean, they're just opening up the doors. Like even CJ, they're opening up the doors for those guys coming behind them. So, I mean, hopefully it won't take them as long, because I think it is going to be showing hopefully a bigger spotlight on the Texas MMA scene. So, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely who you know. And who you training with, man. So go cross train everywhere, guys.
There you go. No, but on that perspective, man. Like of course, here in Texas we have Fury FC. They're the only ones here in the state with the on the UFC Fight Pass. There's tons of promotions all across the board on the UFC Fight Pass. One of them being Aris Fighting Championship. I believe that's how you pronounce it.
Okay.
But out of Paris, France. You see, and it's one of those things like, and not to knock anybody, but it's just like, okay, if I'm fighting at 145, I'm 5-0. I've been doing great. I'm a regional title holder. But I mean, you got guys in France training the same thing. In Africa doing the same. I mean, there's fighters all over the world, man. And for somebody to get picked up and get that opportunity, man, it's truly one in a thousands. In a couple 100,000, because there's so much experience, man. That a lot of times it's like, okay, well. I mean, like you said, right place at the right time, because if the right person sees you, of course, Mick Maynard, he's from Houston, so of course he's out there with Fury FC, so he has eyes on the local, and because of that, a lot of people are getting that view, getting hits, getting picked up a lot faster. It's for me, I guess, and once again, it depends on the fighter, on the coach, on the team, but 5 fights as an amateur, okay, boom, go pro. 5 fights as a pro, okay. Is 10 fights enough to make it to the UFC? Would you say?
Oh, man.
Like good fights, like
10 good fights. I think so. I mean, but it also depends on how much they can hold in that roster. You know, who's getting cut? Because I mean, damn, dude. I mean, there's a lot of guys fighting now. I mean, he would have to. I'd like to see a different roster between, you know, like the pay-per-view guys,
right,
and then like the UFC Fight Pass guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like where we see those guys are free. Like, are you? It's like, yeah, I'm in the UFC, but which one are you? Are you a free televised one, or are you a pay-per-view?
UFC Fight Night UFC on Fox?
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, you see. But that being said, there are still brackets in the UFC because of course they got to work their way up. You know, and I'm gonna keep quoting Aaron Rosa. You know, years back when he was in the UFC and somebody was like, man, you know what, you finally made it. And he says, yeah, well, the hard part's staying in it.
Yeah.
And it stuck with me throughout the years because it's like, yeah, bro, like, you know, it's tough. I mean, once you get out there, you know, when you start off, you don't get to pick who you want to fight. They're just like, hey, we got this guy, let's go.
Well, you know, but you know, even at that though, I mean, you had a lot of guys that were picking their fights. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I know back in the day, it's kind of like, hey, this is who we have. You know, fight this guy next. But you know, a lot of these fighters now, they're being more picky on who they're taking on, and I get it, you know, I mean, because they want to make sure that the opponent and the paycheck match, but at the same time, it's just like, dude, like, you guys are all good, so,
yeah,
you know, let's get it moving. And I hate
this guy's good. This one's gooder.
This one's gooder.
Yeah,
you know, so I mean, I hate the picking their opponents. I just, you know, sign the contract. That's what you are. You're there to fight. So, you know, if you feel like that guy's, you know, so much better than you, okay, well then go train harder. You know.
No, you see, yeah, man.
See, there's my ignorance again, right?
No, but you know what? I mean, there's something to it, man. Because obviously, I mean, if fighters are gonna cherry pick, and as a matter of fact, it was Ivy. You know, he was here a while back, and he had talked about, you look at a fighter and you look at his record, and you're like, okay, like, because a lot of, you know, like we mentioned earlier too, man, a lot of fighters, they're fighting 0-0 with 0-5, 0-10, and it's like, dude, well, you're fighting people that you have a high possibility of beating, man. It's just like, you know, but I mean, it shows in the record, so of course, you know, if you're fighting and you're out there, I mean, you can go to Topology.com and look somebody up and be like, oh, okay, well, maybe that's why he's undefeated, you know.
Yeah, and you know, like I said, going back to Ivy, I mean, he's 10-6, 10-7.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like he's fought a lot of top guys. I mean, even when he did the kickboxing, I mean, he was fighting a top tier kickboxer. So I mean, there's no easy fights. But if you match him up with somebody who's, you know, 5-0, 6-0, and all they fought was 0-1 guys or 1-1 guys, like that's a totally different, you know, beast, man. So it is interesting to see how these guys get their record padded, and then they get into UFC, and then they get smashed, and you know, now they're back in the regional circuits.
No, yeah. You see, and let me say this because I think you had shared it also, man. He's actually he picked up a contract with Pure UFC.
Yeah.
Right, so he's going to be fighting here in San Antonio.
He'll be fighting here again, and then he's looking for sponsors now.
No, I had seen that, man.
So
I mean, definitely.
Y'all guys hit him up, man.
Yeah. I mean, these guys. I mean, of course. I mean, they talk about showcasing your product, putting it on social media.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you got something to sell and need somewhere to put it on, man. I mean, definitely hit up these fighters. Hit up Dimitri. Hit up Aaron, who'll put the logo on his forehead.
I heard you.
but yeah, man. I mean, it's a tough sport, and of course, you know, they make what they make. You know, it's on contract. But I mean, yeah, if they get sponsors, they they have a possibility of making more money through sponsors. So it definitely helps.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. And again, at this point, man, I mean, he's got so much exposure. I mean, you have a lot of these guys with their Instagram accounts in the thousands, and you know, close to.
Yeah, well, we're on that. Send some our way, man.
So yeah, please
send me two.
Send us a like, please, somebody.
Yeah, there you go, man. Send a heart.
You know, are we at the begging stage yet, or no?
Almost.
Okay.
There, man.
All right. We'll get closer.
Well, we're shooting. That's my goal for 2022. Man, the other day, and I kept putting 2020 like on receipts, and somebody was like, and the customer was like, it's 2022, and I was like, oh yeah, and I was like, oh shit, is it? I was still half asleep, bro, but yeah, man, it blew my mind because I'm like, damn, dude, where am I? You know, it goes.
Who's the president, man?
Yeah. Where am I at? Dude, but yeah, it's just crazy, man. I mean, life's been going by so quick, man. But that's what we gotta enjoy it. Yeah. That's what we gotta get on it, man. But bro, we're gonna go ahead and actually go into other platforms, right?
We're
gonna do audio today. everybody out there, man, of course, I mean, we're going to be doing our podcast. We're going to be doing our thing on this. We're going to be posting our audio breakdowns. We're going to go over a couple of fights, one being the Aris Fighting Championship, the other one being the... actually, we're going to probably go over that UFC this weekend too, man. So if you're out there, you're listening, by all means, go to the... we'll post a link on here. But if not, go to the website, www.defightcardpodcast.com. Aaron Suarez, of course, the link will be on there through Anchor. And if he tries to sell you something, man, don't buy it. Other than that, you're good. But yeah, man, we're going to go wrap this up.
Yes, sir.
And of course, did you want to say anything before you cross over, man?
No, man. Let me see. No, I'm good. I'm good right now, man.
Alrighty,
We'll
everybody out there, of course, as always, thank you for chiming in, following up. Until next time. And give it a few seconds.
Always, baby. Always give it a few. But yeah, man. Smish.
The Smash Machine.
Smish machine. Dude, I was recording the other day too, and I was trying to record, and I can't.